Welcome to
Young Mango. And we don't have a drink, but today we're talking
about London Climate Week.
London Climate Action Week, or LCAW as you're allowed to call it. How did you find LCAW this year?
So it's my second LCAW. The last time I went was 3 years ago.
And what even is LCAW?
So it's the full name is, as you said, the London Climate Action Week, but people short it and just call it as LCAW. But the funny thing is, I actually thought it's ALCOR because people keep calling it as LCAW, and I didn't had no idea what that meant.
Yeah, I'd heard it for the first time this year, LCAW, but it's like core, like how a bird caws. It's like,
Before we move on, I think they should know why you guys are talking about London Climate Action, about which industry you guys work in. Might be helpful understanding the context.
So we both work in sort of climate related organization. I'm more focused on nature. I work for an environmental charity, and
I work in more like a philanthropy section. It's about granting to other organizations. It's actually where I met Pharaoh. We met each other during our master at UCL. Yeah, it was about environment.
yeah, it was quite cool. We were doing a course that was quite interdisciplinary in that it was sort of hard sciencey, sort of biology, ecology on one side, but also a lot of political science, I think, on the other.
A bit like conservation class on the one side.
Yeah.
One thing I remember is like, that's a US politics class.
Oh, was there? I didn't do that one. Or was that the geopolitics?
Yes. Yeah.
That was interesting. Okay, no, that was good. I liked when we talked about geopolitics.
Not much.
I had this talk with my American friend. The academia of geography is kind of if it's a science, it's like a pure science part. Well, I'm gonna butcher this, but I understand geopolitics is about politics that happens within the certain geography.
I think I remember during the course, like the first class was sort of looking at the historical definitions of like how geopolitics was viewed in the past, and it very much was based on the landscape. Sort of like you've got land surrounded by mountains. This is strategically important because there's resources here. This provides protection, and it was a lot of that. Nowadays, that could translate to pipelines, where the pipelines run through. Things like the Strait of Hormuz being shut is geopolitics, sort of politics associated with geography. Then that sort of expanded to things like there was actor network theory. Do you remember this?
No, I should.
It was something about change being like, it's not just geography that dictates things. It's like a range of actors, people, things, materiality, culture. I forget it. So I'm butchering it. I love that expression, butchering something. If someone has a better definition, do drop it in the comments, because I was definitely more comfortable on the ecology side of things, I think. The conservation sort of in practice, biodiversity kind of stuff.
Going back to London Action Week, what kind of events are organized? So it says the London Action Week. Like, is it done like whole week? Which organization like hosted? Why is it hosted like every year? I'm just curious as a person who's not in this climate change field. I just found my sister is always busy in this time of the year. Always outside, meeting people, networking, and also you. It's a season that I can't really see them often. So now today we're here after all the London Action Week because I missed them. Yeah.
Well, I actually went to an event a few weeks ago that was like an introduction to LCAW, and someone there was one of the people who founded LCAW, London Climate Action Week, and they were talking about how they had been a part of New York Climate Action Week, and that was very associated with like. Have you ever been to?
Yeah.
You've been to New York Climate Action Week.
One
How
time.
was that?
So, well, I think it's a bit of different vibe. Feels more corporate in New York. So, for your information, when we say Climate Action Week, I think it usually refers to like 3 global Climate Action Week happening in Europe and North America region, which is one is San Francisco Climate Action Week. Another is New York Climate Action Week, and then the
Oh,
London
I didn't
Climate
know
Action
about
Week.
the San Francisco one. I just knew about the New York one.
Yeah, I think, but what I felt this year is that the LCAW was much in a bigger hype and more participants because, as we all know, in the US side, the climate is not a really priority at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I felt this year. Like I've seen so many people flying over from Asia to
Yeah.
London. I didn't see that 2 years ago.
Well, how did it compare to the New York one? Because what they were saying is it's far more tied to the politicians. Basically, like all the politicians were going to New York anyway for some kind of, I forgot whether it was COP or
Networking.
something. It was like some kind of negotiation discussions, or a lot of politicians would be there. So they hosted the Climate Action Week, tagged on to that to sort of get things done. Whereas the London one is far more community led, sort of like ground led. And LCAW don't organize it, but they just sort of, it's, oh, yeah.
Yeah, actually, you're right. I think there's a lot of side events. Like the one you could share your experience on. You went to a lot of like social events, like cocktail club last night.
Yeah,
How
I went
was
to a cocktail
it?
club. It was very drinky, very drinky. It was good. It's interesting because you get such a range of events with different goals in mind. Some are more sort of technical, bringing sort of technical expertise together. Some are sort of really broad range of sustainability. This one was very much people within the climate sector who are passionate already, having lots of drinks and just having a good time. So it's sort of like networking party.
Sounds wholesome.
It was, well, they started it off by being like, hey, everybody, might find your husband here tonight. Or maybe make a few babies. And so me and my colleague were like, okay, so this is the vibe. We were not expecting that. So
I guess it's because it was the last day of the alcohol, right?
Yeah.
So alcohol, answering to your question, is usually a week long.
Mm.
There's always actually a bit more than a week because I think it officially started like last Saturday. So yeah, it's a week and a bit more, but yeah.
I feel like it should be a month. Like there were just so, I think there were over 1,000
Very
events
intense.
that you could go to. So but I feel like it should be a month long because there were so many
Yeah.
events that were relevant that I couldn't go to. Were there any that you saw? Did you have a look at any tech related ones?
Not really, because London Tech Week, I think it was a week or a week before, because I work in a tech field, different from these guys. But my question is, like, as an outsider of this field, what's the goal of this event? Is like fundraising or just raising awareness or making a climate change sector people like connected together? What's the point? Oh, wait, it might sound
That's
rude.
very engineer like question. You're like, what's the purpose of this?
Yeah.
Like, are you just going there to do?
I didn't mean that. I'm just curious.
No, but it's good to know the goal. But I would say all of the above. It's nice that it's sort of like community led. So there are so many different kinds of events.
Yeah.
All of those will be achieved by one of the events, I think.
Yeah, I think I don't know about your organization, but the organization that I'm currently working for, LCAW is like a year milestone. So it's a point of the year where current organization prepares something and they publish a lot of things, like announce different stuff. So that's the time we do. It's like our flagship event and showing our achievements of the year or sharing what we're gonna do throughout the next quarter of the year.
So you were running an event at London Climate Action Week.
Well, not myself, but my company did launch something through the event on the first day of the event, actually.
Oh, nice. How did it go?
It was successful. Like I said, I did not expect so many people coming in from so many different countries. That was great.
What about Korea? Did Korea participate?
Yeah, actually, there were several, which I had a separate chat after the event. Yeah, it was I think it was a good, like, huge success. It was about climate adaptation and resilience. It's about how well you could adapt in extreme heat, for example. Yeah, it was. I think my company really well tuned in to the theme of the London Climate Action Week, which is quite important. So if you want to make a splash out of the event.
No, sounds like you made the most of it. And I know you went to so many different events. It sounded intense.
Yeah, it's been a really busy week for both of us, right?
Not for me.
But I'm curious because London Climate Action Week, people would think like only climate-related people would go, but actually not. It's open access, and many of the events are open door. And you actually went to one of the events, so I'm curious about your thoughts. You had some good conversations there.
Technically speaking, I went to your company's social. So I'm not sure if I should count that as a London Climate Action Week event.
What was your perspective of the event? And what was your impression of how your sister behaves in a workplace environment?
Oh, good question.
I expected my sister to have a professional side of her in the workplace, but she's just the same. She was like, hi.
That's a really good impression. Hi.
Yeah, and I did the same. So it was easy to get to know them. But the main conversation I had was about climate data, because I had a conversation with one of the software engineer, actually data engineer person. But I'm also working on one of carbon emission prediction model. And I was talking about how climate related data are inconsistent and it's not like a big, large size data, which means it's difficult to standardize and make it into AI models. So we had a conversation in more technical perspective, but I think it's also very important because you need the data to track how they're performing, to make it make sense in numbers. It can be connected to accounting, finance, ultimately connected to how companies should behave in an eco-friendly way. Yeah.
You didn't go to any LCAW event?
No, I did. I think it was my first time because often my sister is busy. I'm just lying down in my bed, oh, you're going out of the game? Just like that.
Nice, but I feel like there's a big tech side to a lot of climate science and a lot of because I'm more on the nature side, but biodiversity and nature tech is a huge thing right now, and how you validate and measure increases in biodiversity. Yeah, I won't dive into that, but
Yeah, it is. I saw some papers and cases about in biodiversity. One of the things that they have difficulty is monitoring animals, tracking them, but using AI-based object detection, they can track down which kind of rare species are there, spot them, tracking who they are, how many of them are there, counting numbers.
What do you think, Vero? Is her observation on the biodiversity tech correct?
yeah, there's definitely tech there that is being used, and AI is helping a lot. And that's rather than having a human check thousands and thousands of alerts on the trap cameras, AI doing it is important. It's quite cool. They also use satellites, LiDAR. They also use I think it's bioacoustics, where they just have microphones and it's bird song. I think birds are what it's most likely used for, most often used for. But you can also prod the ground and listen to the sounds of the soil to see how biodiverse and how alive the soil is. Because if it's sort of had a lot of fertilizer, pesticides, it's dead. There's no worms, mycelium is very low, and you can hear that in the soil. And then when the soil's alive, it sounds different. It's not extensively used to track things in a sort of
You're so smart.
Yeah. I'm surrounded by people who do this kind of stuff. It's really interesting to hear about it.
I thought there wouldn't be much that I can comment on this topic, but it's actually nice to see how those different sections intersect. Yeah, it's almost 15 minutes already recorded.
I'm just going to finish by saying I feel like that's partly why LCAW is so good. Random people come to these events who don't think they're relevant. It's relevant to them, but
no,
climate and everyone has skills to contribute. So you're one of them.
So you guys should definitely join LCAW next year. Yeah, and check the description for the resources.
Boing, boing, boing.